Welcome back, you guys, to another Madden 23 Lions franchise video, and this week we are playing against the Vikings. Well, actually, that's next week. We have a bye this week, but we have a couple of different things to look at for our bye week. So they always ask you the question of whether or not you're going to want to rest your players or have them work out. We did just have a Thursday night game, so I think we're probably going to rest them. But first, let's look at the weekly award winners. And to be expected, Jake Zimmer gets Offensive Player of the Week. In the NFC, 13 for 25, 201 passing yards, 2 TDs and 1 pick, nothing crazy, but 10 carries for 140 yards, averaging 14 yards per carry and 2 rushing touchdowns is a spectacular performance on the ground. Definitely by far his best running game that he's ever had, mostly off of that one read option keeper that he had. And looking at the bye week finally now, let's look and see what they want us to do. We're going to do some team bonding retreats. And so we don't want to lose any stamina. We want to keep the stamina up. The only thing that's a little bit of a bummer is that we got like a plus 10 to break tackle for this game, or for this week, but we don't even have a game. So I don't think that rolls over to week 14, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. We have nothing else to do in this week. We have a lot of players that we wanted to scout already scouted, so we're just going to go advance to week 14 and see if we have anything to do. And let's look at the standings as well for the NFC North. Right now, we're 8-3-1. The Packers are 5-6-1. The Bears are 5-7. And the Vikings, who have Gabriel Whitlock as their starting QB, the rookie quarterback they drafted at number 5 overall, I believe. He is leading them, and they are 4-8 right now at the bottom of the division. But before we go ahead and look at their roster and get into the game, we do have something to look at. Let's look at upgrading some of our players. Sean Hazelwood getting an upgrade. What we love to see, of course. I'm going to boost his pass coverage. I know getting him to an 80 overall is probably the goal that I should be going for, but I want to boost his zone coverage up a little bit. Getting a +2 to zone and +1 to tackle is nice to see. He has 2 more plays before we see his hidden development, which I think will probably end up being star, which is okay. But that's fine. Again, still, what we drafted him for is for his athleticism and for what he could potentially become. Almost up to 70 block shed. Hit power is not crazy. Finesse is up to 82, which is nice. His play rec is boosted right now up to 75. We want to see his play rec go up, his pursuit go up. I would love to see his hit power go up, but that's probably unrealistic. And I want to see his zone coverage go up significantly as a 3-4 outside linebacker that's going to play some coverage sometimes. And looking at his stats for the season, though, he is leading the race for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And he has 32 tackles on the season, 11 tackles for loss, which is pretty great. And then 6.5 sacks. I was hoping for, he does have 1 forced fumble, which is nice, but I was hoping for, like an interception or something this season. But that's been difficult to come by for him. He's not played a lot of coverage snaps, mostly playing running lanes or rushing the passer. Jerron Reed also gets an upgrade as one of our backup veteran defensive linemen who's played a little bit because of the Dontrell Parker injury, but Dontrell Parker is now back, and Trey Hendrickson is back as well. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the Vikings roster. The Vikings roster, we've gone over this once before, but they got Gabriel Whitlock, Derek Carr as their backup, Alvin Kamara at halfback, wide receivers Marquise Brown, Mecole Hardman, and Alan Lazard and Joshua Palmer. They got Mason Burton at tight end, who is a second-year player. He's a 6'5 threat, 86 speed. The O-line is very good for them. Left end, Nick Martinez. Right end, Nick Bosa. Nandi at D tackle. Greg Ricci at left outside linebacker. Kaylavon Chason. Kenny Westbrook. Mac Wilson. Channing Tindall. Clayton Clifton, the rookie right outside linebacker, 22 years old. We actually considered possibly drafting him, but he was scooped up by the Vikings. Marcus Peters. Michael Carter. Isaiah Oliver. Taylor Harbor. Kirby Joseph. And Harrison Smith. All right, to start the game, we got Brian Jackson on the return. First time we played the Vikings, we played obviously at home against them, and we won 34-17. Oh, we got great blocks. Brian Jackson on the return almost broke away for the touchdown, had one man to beat up to the 38-yard line. A great return by him, putting us in good field position for our first drive of the game. And Jake Zimmer, last game, 2 TDs and 1 interception. The ratio, not looking great. I would hate to get to 20 interceptions on the season, but if we're being honest with ourselves, it's likely going to happen. He is likely going to hit 20 picks this season, but We're going to do everything we can to avoid it. He's having a little bit of a sophomore slump, and that's okay. We just got to make sure that this does not happen again. On our first play of the game, we're going to do a little run up the middle with Lionel Hebert, who breaks one tackle. Yeah, Brian Jackson in the backfield with Juwan Johnson out at tight end. Again, Quentin Posey is going to be out for a little while. We see the running lane up the middle, and Jake Zimmer takes it, getting nailed. Looks like it could be man. We got Brian Jackson one-on-one, and it's going to be 4th and inches from the 47. We're going to go no huddle, try to pick this up. And they got almost no one on the line. This should be an easy first down pickup. We do a QB run. And, oh, did we get it? We just barely got the first down pickup with a QB run. Again, this looks like it might be man defense. I get 2 high safeties, and it's going to be zone. Cooper is going to be open on the outside, though. Easily picking up that first down. Love to throw to Cooper on the zig routes. Anything that's a man-beating route, but obviously in that situation when it's zone defense, just trying to wait until he gets open. Brian Jackson on the halfback screen. This has been working out really well for us recently. Brian Jackson getting yards. Almost looked like a face mask on the play. On 2nd and 4, we're in single back. We got Hebert in the backfield. And Cooper split out wide by himself. We got Jameson wide open underneath. Almost able to pick up the first down. It's going to be 3rd and inches. I'm not sure if this is going to work out or not. We got Jameson coming back, and he fumbles the ball, and basically worst case scenario. We got to get to him. Oh, Juwan Johnson able to make the shoelace tackle the last second, and I knew when I had picked out that play that it was going to be risky, but I did not expect a fumble that almost got returned for a TD. Basically nearly the worst case scenario there. And, 3rd and inches, we got way too cute. Got way too cute, I'll admit that. Gabriel Whitlock coming on the field now. On 1st and 10, we're rushing Sean Hazelwood off the edge. We're bringing pressure. We're doing a zone blitz first play. Watching Kamara on the halfback screen, it's just going to be a straight-up run. Clark misses it, but Isaiah Simmons is there for the tackle. And in our last game, neither offense really went crazy. Gabriel Whitlock finished with 2 TDs and 3 interceptions. We're watching over the middle again. Deep middle, though. Pass is complete. It's a fumble. Surtain drops down on it. We're returning it, and Surtain makes it up to the 20-yard line. A big forced turnover by this defense. And Baron Browning is holding his shoulder. Like I was saying, though, yeah, Gabriel Whitlock had 2 TDs and 3 picks, and Jake Zimmer had 0 touchdowns and 1 interception in our first game versus the Vikings. But we did win by a lot, following Juszczyk's block, not fumbling the ball, doing a great job, picking up a couple yards. And Baron Browning looks like he's not seriously injured. We're going to keep him in the game, even though he has a medium re-injury risk. Still in pistol. We're going to do a little counter play. Again, hoping that Lionel Hebert can get it going. We got great blocks to the outside, and it just feels like he doesn't have that extra kind of burst to get through the hole and actually pick up a lot of yards. But we're still going to give him plenty of opportunities. We're running more than we're passing currently. A little power option handed off to Hebert. Hebert taking it up for a couple yards. We do have Cooper in a one-on-one with 1 high safety, which I do like. And I was looking for it for a second. Over the top. Oh, almost intercepted. Tried to loft the pass over the linebacker's head that was playing coverage over the middle. And just definitely too risky of a play there. We're in pistol on 3rd and 7. I'm actually going to call a timeout. I don't like this formation to pick up a 3rd and 7. All right, well, cool. It didn't let me pick another play. That's great. And we fumble the ball. Can't fault Jake Zimmer on that one. They got pressure pretty quickly. And it is a strip sack as they get it down at the 29-yard line. And they regain momentum after having a couple turnovers themselves. And they basically picked the ball up from where they dropped it with Marquise Brown. Alvin Kamara in the backfield and single back. And he did not have a great performance against us in the first game. On the run, Kamara losing yards. Baron Browning and Isaiah Simmons were there in the backfield to stop him. So far, base 3-4 coverage is working out pretty well against this team. There's no reason necessarily to switch. They're a pretty run-heavy team right now. And their receivers aren't too great. We're watching Marquise Brown. And we get in with pressure, and that is a sack by DeMarcus Lawrence and Trey Hendrickson combining, making it 3rd and 24 now. On 3rd and 24, they sent a post route last play. We're going to go ahead and assume that they're doing something to beat cover 2, cover 3 again here. We're watching Marquise Brown over the top, bracketing him, and we get in with pressure again. This time DeMarcus Lawrence there, and Sean Hazelwood and Trey Hendrickson. I'm not sure who's credited with the sack necessarily. Let's see again here who is there. So it's Trey, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Sean Hazelwood making the play. Really hard to say who got the sack. I know DeMarcus got one at least, or at least half of a sack. And on the punt return, Brian Jackson again. So far a 0-0 game, getting a lot of stops each way on defense. Whether it's a punt or a forced fumble or an interception. And they just kick it out of bounds to the 22. They're too afraid of Brian Jackson's return ability and how much of a threat he is in special teams. Doing a little strong halfback stretch. Get great blocks. And Juszczyk just kind of like bursting through the hole a little bit early. A little bit earlier than Hebert can get there. And like by the time Hebert gets there, the hole is closed up already. Wish Juszczyk would, be a little bit more patient. Over the left side. Oh, an overthrow by Jake Zimmer, making it 3rd and 6. And we're going to have to go split out wide again here. And, Jake Zimmer has had a lot of success in the gun. I do like to run some heavy formations at times, but he has really struggled passing the ball in these heavy sets. And Kirk didn't really have that issue for us, but it looks like it's zone, and Juwan Johnson holds on to it. Great coverage on the play, regardless, by Carson. And so a big first down grab there by Juwan Johnson, who does a great job filling in for whenever Posey ends up getting injured. On the QB draw, though, the hole collapsed pretty quickly. And Jake Zimmer is up to 4 carries for only 9 yards, averaging about 2 yards per carry. Is not great for QB runs. That is way below his usual average. On 2nd and 12, staying in empty, and we're actually going to switch out of empty. Actually, no, we're not. I see a potential mismatch with Brian Jackson on the outside. We're going to see if we can exploit it. And I see Jameson, and Jameson was open on the corner route, but a bad ball by Jake Zimmer. And that is going to make us in a 3rd and 12 situation, and we have to pass. And I don't want to be in play action or in I form here. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to send Juwan Johnson on a go. We're going to send Juszczyk on. Actually, we're going to send Juszczyk on a route. We send him on a wheel, and we're going to have Hebert block. And we got Colby wide open. Can we get it over the top? Colby holds on to it at the 30. A great lofted ball by Jake Zimmer. And we're going to go in a little no huddle. And we're going to go motion power up. We can run it here. Saying Colby in motion. Yeah, Juszczyk as the lead block. Blocks are holding up. Lionel Hebert trying to find his way through the hole. Picking up only a yard. On 2nd and 9, we got Cooper Kupp in the backfield. We're going to go ahead and actually set him out wide. And set him on a slant. We're going to set Juwan Johnson on a go. We're going to see if we can get Cooper open. And instead we have Jameson wide open over the middle, and he holds on to it. Great catch by Jameson. And a great throw by Jake Zimmer, actually being patient in the pocket. It's now 3rd and 2. We still got Cooper in the backfield. We're going to send him out to the left. Like this might be a pass play. But it's just a straight up inside zone. We got a lot of room. Lionel Hebert breaking free, picking up the first. Finally getting tackled down by Harrison Smith as Kayvon Chason goes down, holding his wrist. And we got 3 receivers out left. We got Brian Jackson in the backfield. This is a great formation for Brian Jackson to be a receiver, but we are looking for Cooper on this play. He holds on to it, picks up the first. And it's going to be 2nd and inches, actually, but we're going to go ahead and just try to run it in with Jackson. They only got 1 linebacker back there. Great lead blocks and an easy touchdown for Brian Jackson. Great run blocking from our O-line and a great lead block. Gets us into the end zone for the first score of the game, leading 7-0 now with 6 minutes remaining in the game. And yeah, it's definitely been a very defensive game so far. Didn't really turn out that way in our previous matchup when we won 34-17. But again, like I said, this Vikings team is young and has a lot of talent. They're very hungry. They have not been winning in our first 2 seasons in the league, and they're not winning now in their 3rd season. They're just stocking up on draft picks, continuing to try to get younger and younger players on this roster to build a contender soon. But they definitely are going to be there soon. Like I said in the first time we matched up with them, we got to set the tone early. Again, every single year is a new challenge against a young roster like this, so you got to make sure that you try to dominate them. Baron Browning getting the tackle on Mecole Hardman along with Eric Stokes. What is surprising to me, though, is that we're in the 2nd quarter and Gabriel Whitlock only has 2 pass attempts. They're, top 5 pick, I'm pretty sure. We're watching the slants out of the deep end, and it's caught by Marquise Brown. We missed the tackle completely whiff on it. And Marquise Brown gets to take that one in for an easy score. And that was just a big misplay on the tackle. I'm not sure who that was, if that was Tariq or if that was somebody else. It seems like it was Tariq Woolen there that we just missed the tackle with. And they tie at 7-7. And we're going to try Lionel Hebert on a counter play in weak to see if this works a little bit. And cutting it up the middle. Again, just 3 defenders to 2 blockers. Doesn't let Hebert really explode out. And again, when he took over for Ramondre last season, he was averaging about 6 or 7 yards per carry. This season, he's averaging in the low 4s, high 3s. Jamison wide open on the left side of the field. He holds onto it for the first down before going out of bounds. A great throw there by Jake Zimmer, exploiting the cover 6 defense on the weak side where it's more like cover 2, making the safety pick between the post route and the in the crosser. Running another counter with Lionel Hebert. Got great blocks. Oh, we cut it out. He's got a one-on-one with Harrison Smith and is able to pick up the first down, picking up 12 yards, his biggest run of the game. Going to chew into the clock a little bit because, you know, why not? I mean, we don't want to have the Vikings with another possession when they scored so easily on their last possession. You know, we are pretty successful with counters, and we're doing another one. Hebert breaking off a tackle, picking up a couple yards. Going to try an RPO, still out of pistol with Cooper Kupp, and see how the defense reacts. They're not dropping back into help coverage, and Cooper is wide open on the slant. It's going to be 3rd and inches. We're going to hustle to the line, and I was thinking about doing a little halfback screen. We're actually going to pass out of this. I think we might be able to catch the defense off guard. We're going to send Juszczyk out and see what they do. Juszczyk is going to be wide open because I'm pretty sure that guy on the outside is rushing. He's not rushing, and Juszczyk is able to easily catch it despite the fact that they are playing underneath coverage. Now, a player that does not get a lot of play time is in John Fitzpatrick. The 6'7" blocking tight end is on the right side of our kind of like wishbone formation here, or full house formation. See how this lead block goes. They bite on it. We're running outside, cutting it back in. We're able to break the tackles, and Jake Zimmer takes it all the way in for the score. Great blocks and a great elusive play, shedding the tackle by Jake Zimmer. Gives us a 14-7 lead, and we have hit the 2-minute warning, and we will be kicking the ball next to the Vikings, seeing what they kind of do on offense. We have run the ball more than we passed it, which is a little bit unusual for us this season, but it seems to be the winning recipe for Jake Zimmer right now. Passing less, running more, focusing on our weapons like Quentin Posey, Cooper Kupp, Brian Jackson. And then again, obviously in the run game, focusing on getting Lionel Hebert some, productive carries. They decide not to return the ball, and Gabriel Whitlock is going to come out with the offense. Getting coached up by Derek Carr on the sideline is Marquise Brown, who, is having a great season. Sure helps to have, a one-play, 70-yard receiving touchdown like he did on their last drive. They're in split close. 2 running backs in the backfield. Or actually, they had Marquise Brown in the backfield as one of the running backs, and he gets just absolutely crushed by Isaiah Simmons. In cover 3 again, Marquise Brown is their number 1 receiver, and he is, again, playing running back. It's a little bit odd. 3rd and 1 now. Whitlock 5 for 5 with that 1 touchdown. Dropping back into cover 3 once again, playing the short out. You got Kamara wide open. Surtain, he's testing him one-on-one with Hardman, and Surtain able to get the pick down at the 2-yard line. And that was just a prayer thrown up by Whitlock. Mecole really had no shot of getting that. Again, we have basically one side of the field that opposing defenses cannot even throw to. They want to target Tariq's side, but Tariq is 6'4" on jump balls. And then Surtain is just a complete lockdown corner on the opposite side. Makes it very difficult to throw one-on-one balls, even if Mecole might beat him in the speed category. With 1:14 left, we're going to run it first here with Lionel Hebert out of strong. Hopefully not losing yards in this play. Great blocks. Hebert getting it up for a couple yards. So far, 10 carries for 34 yards is obviously not ideal. That's about where he's actually averaging for the season. But obviously, we want it to be much more improved. 2nd and 8 from the 4. Little read option, seeing what the defensive end does. And Jake has another run on the outside. Beats the defender, Kirby Joseph, and picks up almost the first down. It's going to be 3rd and 1. The clock is still running. What I'm wondering is if I want to throw the poster out to Jamison here. Jamison could be open. Throwing it over the top to Cooper, and there's a flag on the play. Cooper goes out of bounds. What could this be? Could be holding. They're giving us roughing the passer on the play. So that's an automatic first down. Huge mental mistake there by Nick Bosa, I believe. Now that we've got Brian Jackson in the backfield, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to send Brian Jackson out. I'm going to send Brian Jackson out kind of at the tight end spot. He's going to run a drag. He's wide open underneath. Going to catch it and go out of bounds. Almost picking up the first. On 2nd and 1, we're going to run a halfback screen. And they're kind of sitting on it, but we get the block off anyways. Trying to get to the outside. Again, getting out of bounds. Still 2 timeouts remaining. Now it's time to actually pass down the field. And to pass down the field, let's go ahead and look for Antoine Andrews on this kind of like post route here. Let's have Lionel Hebert sit back and block. And Antoine is not really going to be open. Oh, a bad throw. Almost gets intercepted. Oh, we looked way too late to our option. Our third option of Jamison Williams. That was a dangerous ball. Could have easily been intercepted. I'm seeing 2 high safeties. I'm going to guess this is cover 6, so I got to pick the right side. That might be cover 2. And it looks like it's not cover 2. It might be cover 4. I think it is cover 4. And we're just going to try to get some time, and that's going to be halftime. Take the sack ultimately. Luckily, we didn't fumble the ball as Huff takes us down. All right, Gabriel Whitlock coming back out. 1 touchdown, 1 pick in the first half. That first interception came off of just a kind of 50-50 ball thrown up between Patrick Surtain and Mecole Hardman. Didn't really have the kind of arm strength to lead Mecole there, and really Patrick Surtain was blanketing him anyways. On cover 3, the zig is open, and a big hit by Christian Harris, leaning into Marquise Brown on the play. I'm expecting, if we keep hitting Marquise Brown like that, I expect them to fumble it maybe one more time. In cover 1, I want to bring pressure off of, let's see, actually it looks like Hazelwood's not in right now. We're going to sub Hazelwood back in. Run by Alvin Kamara, breaks off a couple tackles. Baron Browning misses him. Finally, Ryan Neal and Surtain come over and make the tackle on Kamara. Kamara's averaging 5 yards per carry off of only 3 carries, though. And we're going to put Trey Hendrickson in there. And Dontrell should be in for sure, too. Okay, now we got our best D-line in with Sean Hazelwood and Dontrell in. On 1st and 10, they're just doing a halfback stretch to Kamara again. Kamara breaking a couple tackles. Surtain can't get off his block. Nathan Walls took a bad angle. Finally, Kamara runs out after picking up a lot of yards, down to the 19-yard line. 4 carries now for 50 yards. Now their backup tight end in because, again, Mason Burton is injured. Watching over the middle, underneath, Kamara getting smacked by Baron Browning. And Whitlock still 7 for 8, only 1 incompletion, and that 1 incompletion was the pick. In split close again with Marquise Brown in the backfield. Gotta watch out for any mismatches. Right now, it looks like Ryan Neal is on Marquise Brown. We're watching over the middle, and Tariq not doing a great job stepping in front of Mecole, making it 3rd and short. Now on 3rd and short, we're going to play cover 2, and we're going to play underneath. Armstrong's in the backfield. I'm not too worried about him running the football, although, it's play action. Everything seems to be covered right now. Hazelwood in for the sack, and we love to see it. Hazelwood now with 1.5 sacks on the game, and he has shown to be a game wrecker at times when given the opportunity. That elite combination of, ability to use finesse moves and then his speed and excel. When he's coming off the edge, man, he's almost up to 8 or 9 sacks on the season. As a rookie, that is fantastic. Triple option play, we're watching what the outside does, and should have just handed it off to Hebert on the play. Instead, we lose 4 yards in the initial play, and we're going to have to start passing here. In single back, we got Cooper and Jamison on the left side of the field. Got Jamison open underneath. We could make that throw over the top. A little bit of a risky pass. Jawan Johnson really was open, but we kind of forced it to Cooper instead. A mistake there by Jake Zimmer, I can't lie. Little play action. They know it's a pass, though, so I don't like the idea of doing the play action. Instead, we're just going to run this like a regular play. And yeah, we're just going to run with 3 routes. We got some good blockers. We got Jamison wide open. Can he hold on to it? He can. And he gets a big yards up to the 43. A great pass by Jake Zimmer leading his receiver. That was a bad decision by the Vikings playing man defense. Great blocks there. Hebert following. Picking up 3 yards on the play. Again, cannot seem to get consistent yardage more than 3 yards per carry. He's only had a couple runs so far that have been for 4, 5, 6 yards. Hebert wide open underneath. Got a one-on-one. Tried to see if he could break the tackle from Clayton Clifton, but could not. Still making a 3rd and short situation, though. And on 3rd and short, in the same formation, we're going to go ahead and audible out of this. And I want to run Hebert up the middle. And I want to bring Colby Parkinson across the middle when we do this. Get great blocks. We're following them and needing Harrison Smith finally at the 20-yard line. He goes down. Joel Bitonio with an injury, though. A great run by Hebert. Good design. They're showing double A-gap pressure. Going to run a stretch play to the right side. They get no linebackers out there. And Hebert, another great run. Finally picking up yards in chunks. It only takes, a couple runs for Hebert to start getting going. It takes 2 or 3 runs, and he is good to go. It just sometimes takes a while for him to get that initial run. Juwan Johnson blocking on the outside. Hebert almost falling into the end zone down at the 1. Bitonio with a strained forearm. We're going to go ahead and just sub our backup, and we cannot risk Bitonio getting an actual serious injury. And although Hebert has brought us here, they're in goal line right now. We're going to do a little play action. And Hebert should be open on the play, but we get hit, and it's a throw out of a sack. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 1. And trust me, we're going to get Hebert one more touch. He deserves it. He's been great on this drive. This time, though, we're going to spread him out a little bit, see if we can get him out of goal line. We can. We're going to bring Juwan Johnson across as a blocker once more. And, Lionel Hebert, did he get in? Oh my God, I can't believe it. We're going for it. We're trusting in Lionel Hebert. We're showing the jet sweep. We're running with Hebert. And it's there. Can he get in? No, Nick Bosa's on his back. And he can't get into the end zone. A great couple of runs on this drive by Hebert, but we get stuffed at the goal line. And Whitlock is coming out. And we're going to have to try and do it right back to them from the 1-yard line. They're in I form. We're bringing pressure. We're bringing everybody down. I'm not worried about this being a potential pass play. Kamara gets forward progress down at the 1-yard line. Dang, he was in the end zone too. Now they're in the gun. We're going to bring pressure. Hazelwood's dropping back into coverage actually here. A run by Kamara, who breaks a couple tackles, picks up positive yards, and so now they're outside of the goal line at the 4-yard line. And let's see if they run this last play before the end of the 3rd quarter. Still running a zone blitz. 2 seconds remaining. And they're going to let it go to the 4th. And it looks like a short passing situation. They got a bunch of slants that they're running. And Whitlock is sitting back. Walls with the pick, his first pick of the season. And Mecole's not there to get it. Walls gets a free pick 6. I can't be happier for Walls. He's played so well all season. He got his first sack just a week ago, and he got his first pick this week, and it's for a pick 6 to give us a 2-possession lead. A huge mental mistake there by Gabriel Whitlock, just throwing it up late. Held onto the ball way too long in the pocket when you're in your own end zone. And at the end of the day, if you take a safety, that's one thing. But throwing a pick 6, that's bad. And Walls makes him pay. Kicking back off to the Vikings. Isaiah Oliver's probably not going to take it out of the back of the end zone. They're going to take a knee. And now down by 2 possessions to start the 4th quarter. And Whitlock seems like he might be a little bit rattled here at home. Throwing that really bad pick 6. We're going to see if we can bring a little bit of pressure. We're going to send Stokes off the edge, see if he sees him or not. It's a pass play. We're watching outside. Kamara's open over the middle. Be able to make that read finally. And it's going to be 2nd and 2. I thought, Whitlock had a lot of time there. I was hoping that, Stokes or somebody would get some pressure on him eventually. We're watching over the middle. A short out this time, though. Tariq getting the hit on Marquise Brown. And Whitlock, 10 for 12. Only incompletions have been interceptions, and that is rough for sure. I'm going to send a man blitz off the right side. We got some short outs that could be open. Surtain playing great coverage. Still completing the pass that was Whitlock to, I believe that was Mecole on the play. And we have 3 sacks on the game. Getting great pressure so far. And I'm not sure where is Hazelwood on this play. I don't think he's in. Watching deep over the middle. Almost getting the pick is Eric Stokes, but he drops it. And we're going to send Hazelwood off the edge. We're going to have Harris play a lot of coverage over to the right side. Watching the slant. Oh, man, we could have had that pick. We just didn't fully commit on the route to Hardman. And Whitlock made us pay. I was all in on kind of like dropping back into the flats there. and that was my mistake. And it's a little run play, and Hazelwood doing a good job in run support, tackling Kamara down. 2nd and 7 from the 37. 5 minutes left in the quarter, 5 minutes left in the game, and the Vikings got to move down the field quickly here. Watching the zig, and getting the sack that time is Damon Clark on the zone blitz. A great job by Damon Clark. Haven't heard his name called a lot all season, just kind of doing the dirty work for the team. Doing what's expected of him. You know, this is his first time starting as kind of a backup middle linebacker spot. He's mostly an outside linebacker or a backup for us. Tariq one-on-one with Marquise Brown, and Marquise Brown mossed him. Oh, my God. Marquise Brown's 2nd touchdown of the game, and a crazy one at that, I can't lie. He's got a one-on-one with Woolen on the outside. Woolen is, dropping back into coverage. Whitlock throws off his back foot, and it wasn't even a high ball. Or I guess you probably don't want it to be a high ball against Tariq, but it was in the perfect spot where Tariq misplayed it, and Marquise basically got to take it free into the end zone for the TD. And they're going for 2. They're in single back. We got a bunch of linebackers over the middle. They're dropping back. It's a pass. We're watching the slant all the way. Surtain trying to make the tackle, and Kamara breaks off 2 tackles. We probably should have gone for a secure tackle instead, but I don't know if it was going to matter. Kamara just completely, blew Surtain off of him. I think he was going to evade that no matter what. Brian Jackson on the return now with us only up by 3 points. Jackson gets the edge. Oh, man, just barely gets caught at the 30-yard line. Almost broke that one off again. And Jake Zimmer comes back out onto the field. Like I said, Jake has no touchdowns, no picks in the game. And I'm fine with that. The rest of the team has been performing well. On the counter, Hebert picking up 2 yards on the play. And again, we're in the formation with Fitzpatrick as our tight end in the backfield. Again, a great run blocker. Watching the edge, and he misses the block there. Harrison Smith can't get the shoelace tackle on Jake Zimmer, though, as he slides down to the 46. Another great run by Jake Zimmer, and I think using Jake's legs has definitely helped him a lot. He's got Trust activated now, and it's helped prevent him from throwing even more interceptions. He doesn't feel like you have to do everything with his arm. Good run by Hebert there, picking up 5 yards on the first down play. And run a little play action. They probably are expecting run. And it's man coverage. Oh, this is a dangerous ball. Oh my God, Cooper got absolutely crushed on that play. I think I might have had a brain fart there. I think for a second I thought I had like Gambler on and I couldn't throw an interception because that was a terrible pass. On 3rd and 5, we got some slants. Going and run from the right side. We don't need a slide or anything. We can't fumble. Down to 30. Another nice run by Jake Zimmer. And as long as we don't take a loss of yards, we can continue to run the ball with Jake and not worry about those fumbles. Hand it off to Hebert on this play. Hebert picking up a good chunk of yards. And the run game has been very successful for us the last couple of games, whether it be Hebert running himself. I know last game Hebert did not have a great running game, and neither did Brian Jackson, but Jake Zimmer, had a great game. And Hebert so far in this game has played fantastic. Aside from being stuffed on the goal line. Hebert on the run again. Almost picks up the first. It's going to be 3rd and short. All right, we got everyone lined up to block on the edge. We got Brian Jackson in the backfield for this play. On 3rd and 1, they got all 3 timeouts. This is just after the 2-minute warning. Got to pick up this first. It's big. Getting to the edge is Brian Jackson. Brian Jackson outrunning everyone. He's got a one-on-one with Harrison, but he goes out of bounds. That was a bad play by him, I can't lie. Cannot go out of bounds when you're trying to burn clock like that. And they're playing some goal line. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to split Jackson out to the right. And we're going to send, we're going to send Johnson on a drag. We're going to keep Fitzpatrick blocking. We got 4 routes on the field. I'm going to trust Cooper on the left side. And I'm going to see if we got a one-on-one. Brian Jackson with the touchdown. It was a little bit of a pick play there. It seemed like the DB didn't want to help on the slant route. And just a straight-up man blitz, and Jackson exploits it for the easy touchdown on the slant. And that is the benefit of having a receiving halfback right there, getting complete mismatches in the backfield, especially when we split them out wide. And that gives us a 2-possession lead, or actually, yeah, it gives us a 10-point lead exactly. With only 2 minutes remaining, the Vikings do have all 3 timeouts, so if they were to score a touchdown and not use any timeouts, they could go for the onside kick, and if they didn't get it, they could still try to go for some timeouts and regain possession. And Marquise Brown having a crazy game against us. 6 catches, 150 yards, and 2 TDs. Going absolutely ballistic. And he's had some big plays. It's been mostly off of 2 really huge catches. Out of the gun, Whitlock. Oh, it's a halfback screen. We're all over it anyways. Trey Hendrickson was right there. Now 2nd and 10. We're going to drop. We're going to drop into cover 1. Got Christian Harris playing the left side. We're watching over the middle. Underneath. A great tackle by Isaiah Simmons. 3rd and 11 now, and the Vikings decide to burn their first timeout. And in nickel, we're going to drop into cover 3. Play up. Could play, like cover 2 man or something like that, but we know they got to chuck it down the field. Everything is boxed right now. 1-on-1. Surtain could have got the pick, but it's out of bounds. On 4th and 11, they're going to be going for it. We're playing cover 6. We got a cover 4 on one side, cover 2 on the other. I'm expecting a slant from the right side, if anything. Dropping back. We're watching it. Kamara's open underneath. Oh, crap. He throws it out of bounds. They can't stay in bounds. Isaiah Simmons playing good coverage anyways. And we're going to get possession at the Vikings 24. And we're just going to try to run this one out. And again, since he has trust, I'm not too worried about him running the football. And let Jake run it from the left side. Could have pitched it off to Juszczyk, but we decided not to. Vikings are going to call timeout. And we lost X Factor off of that play, so we're going to have to run it with Hebert instead. Going to run a counter again. Get good blocks. Hebert breaking a tackle. Now he's got like a full head of steam, and when he runs, aggressively, and when he runs mean, he actually picks up a lot of yards and breaks a lot of tackles for us. And Nick Bosa is holding his shoulder, and he goes down with the injury. That's a big loss for them. But I'm not going to lie, their season is basically over. Another season where they're going to be in the lottery, and I know there's no lottery in the NFL, but they're going to be in the top 10 picks again, where they belong. Lionel Hebert on the run, can't pick up the first. It's going to be 4th and 2. Lionel Hebert getting a lot of volume in this game, though. 22 carries for almost 100 yards. Let's see if we can get him past that. We just have to pick up this first, but we're going to take the time down quite a bit, and we'll come back when we get it down to almost 0. All right, with 2 seconds remaining, we're going to snap it. Hebert on the run outside. Oh, actually it was Ramondre, and Ramondre doesn't pick up the first. I didn't see that. If it was Hebert, I'm pretty sure we pick up that first down there. Instead, we turn it over on downs, and they're going to pick it up from the 14-yard line with 32 seconds remaining. Of course, we're not going to sit in cover 2. They're going to be throwing it downfield. We're playing cover 1. We're covering over the middle of the field, and Whitlock finally gets a pass off. And, oh my God, Kofi is able to juke somebody, finally getting taken down at the 47-yard line. They have no timeouts remaining, so they're going to be able to snap it maybe one more time. Yeah, they do. They get it off one more time. We're watching over the middle. Throws it underneath the Kamara, and Simmons is there for the tackle. And we win the game 28-18. Pretty similar score to our first game. We won the first game 34-17 versus the Vikings. And a pretty similar sort of, stat line for Gabriel Whitlock. Last time he had 2 TDs and 3 picks. This game, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. I will say, though, that all of his touchdowns were off of Marquise Brown making insane plays for him. Looking at the stats, though, we finished with only 157 passing yards and 180 rushing yards. We really didn't have to pass the ball all that much in this game. Making a lot of our plays on the ground, especially with Jake Zimmer and Lionel Hebert getting a lot of touches as well. Looking at the stats after the game, Jake Zimmer outperforming Gabriel Whitlock. 1 touchdown and 0 interceptions. Doing a great job just being a game manager. And honestly, in his second year, if he's regressed to a game manager instead of a playmaker, it's okay. I will say, though, that he's not really a game manager in the rushing game. In the rushing game right now, he has been elite. But anyways, getting away from the point. 1 touchdown, 0 picks. Gabriel Whitlock, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Rushing the football, Lionel Hebert, 22 carries for 97 yards. Pretty solid average, 4.5. Jake Zimmer, 10 carries for 64 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 fumble as well. Kamara, 7 carries for 58 yards. And then Brian Jackson had 2 carries for 25 yards and a touchdown. Receiving-wise, Marquise Brown lit us up. 6 catches for 153 yards and 2 big touchdown catches. Jamison for 4 catches, 78 yards. And anyone else? Colby Parkinson, 1 catch for 29. Cooper, only 3 catches for 27 yards. Brian Jackson, 5 catches for 23 yards and another touchdown for him off of the slant that we kind of schemed up for him. Juwan Johnson with 1 catch. Lionel Hebert with a catch. And Juszczyk with a catch as well. Defensively, Leading the team in tackles, Isaiah Simmons, as usual. Some big plays. Last game against the Vikings, Sean Hazelwood had 2 sacks. In this game, he had 1.5. So I don't know what the exploit is along the Vikings O-line, but Sean Hazelwood has a mismatch somewhere. And Damon Clark coming up with a sack of his own. He doesn't have a sack all season as far as I remember. DeMarcus Lawrence with another sack, and then Trey Hendrickson getting a half of a sack. Interceptions, Nathan Walls gets his first interception and pick 6 of his career, which I love to see. Surtain getting a pick as well. And then one forced fumble by Isaiah Simmons, and the defensive touchdown by Nathan Walls on the pick 6. After the game, we got one upgrade for our main dual threat player, Brian Jackson. And we could upgrade his elusive back or his receiving back. Now that he's an 80 overall, I'm going to upgrade his elusiveness. Because, being a receiver is great, and it helps a lot, and it does make him a mismatch in one aspect of the game, but I need him to be even more of a threat in the running game. So upgrading his excel, agility, ball carrier vision, and carrying is great. Upgrading his carrying is definitely important. It is up to, what is it up to now? His carrying is up to a 78 with the boost. And let's see, where's his other moves at? So his spin is an 84, juke's an 82. Change of direction is crazy high for him. His ball carrier vision is solid. His excel is up to 95 now. His agility is 94. What I want to see go up is probably, I want to see if I can boost his strength at all, and if I can boost his stiff arm at all. The trucking is never going to be high. He's just not that type of running back. Catching is still fantastic, obviously. His medium and short route are great, and his deep route's fantastic as well. And, I want to continue to, of course, utilize him to the best of my ability. He's now up to an 81 overall. After the game, we are now at 9-3-1, and the Vikings have fallen to 4-9, and we are securely in the number 1 spot in the NFC North. We can look at the playoff picture real quick, and in the playoff picture, we are the 2 seed, playing against the Buccaneers potentially again, that we absolutely routed in our first matchup in the divisional in our last season in the playoffs. And the Giants and the Niners are in there. The Rams and the Eagles are in there. And the Saints are the 1 seed. Again, Deshaun Watson and the Saints are, I think, undefeated right now. Over in the AFC, the Titans are the 1 seed. We've already beaten them once with Joe Burrow this season. And over at the number 2 seed is the Ravens. They also got the Dolphins with Lamar. They got Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They got the Jaguars over there. And we got the Jets and the Steelers. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that game. In our next game, we're going to be playing against the LA Rams, who are vying for a higher seed in the playoffs along with us. And yeah, I look forward to that game. We've got only a couple more games remaining. I think we have, let's see, so we've got 4 games left in the season. So after the Rams, we play the Packers and then the Chiefs, or the Bears. And then we have one more game on the schedule before we go to the playoffs. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. I can't wait to get to the playoffs, but we're just taking one game at a time. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.